Hey there, everybody. Welcome in the kitchen with Tally Faye. Hope everybody's having them a good evening this evening. It's finally, the sun's about gone down. I don't think you'd call it cooling off out there, but you know, that heat's backing off a little bit with the sun dropping. But I tell you, these dog days of summers are here. I'm off in here cooking us some supper tonight, trying to come up with something that, you know, it's kind of hard to eat when it gets these old hot days, just day after day after day. And, you know, you eat a lot of light foods and stuff and everything, but you start getting hungry. You need something with some substance to it after a while, right? Or we do. And so the thing I'm working on tonight, not only is this going to, you know, be good to us, you know, the meat tasting thing or whatever we want, but this, y'all, is a poor man's dish right here. I've eaten this I don't know how many times, but we eat it because we like it, not because it's a poor man's dish. But it is one of those things that, you know, I've had to cook a many a time back in the day. And it's just something that you can feed your family for little to nothing. And it's called pork and bean hash. That's what we call it, pork and bean hash, okay? Now, I'm making a smaller pan of this because it's just Buzz and I. But you can double this. So what I have, what I did was I started browning my hamburger meat, okay? I have 1 pound of hamburger meat in here. Now, with your family, you want 2 pounds of hamburger meat, right? But 1 pound of hamburger meat, I've got it going here. Let me turn that down a little bit. I went ahead and drained my hamburger meat, the fat off of it, and just put it right back in here. And now I'm going to just take, and I have 1 medium onion cut up. We like lots of onion in ours. So, you know, that depends on how much onion you want. But I'm telling you, that onion, once it cooks in it, is so good mixed in with all those flavors. So I've got me a medium onion cut up in here and 1 pound of hamburger meat. Now, I'm going to take me some salt. I just want salt first. And you know, you salt that to taste. You think about how salty you want that hamburger meat in that skillet, right? Add you some salt, some black pepper. Do me some black pepper in there. And y'all, this is quick too. If you're a working mama and you're hot and tired or whatever, or don't know what to do and you're trying to feed them youngins and everybody. Okay, I got me some garlic powder here. This is one of those dishes that works great for that. Okay? Put you some garlic powder in there. Garlic powder, salt, and pepper, okay? And some onion chopped up. Now, we're going to cook this down. Let these onions cook in this hamburger meat before we do anything else. So I'm going to get this cooking, let the onions kind of wilt down, and we'll be back in a minute. Okay, so I've been letting my onions cook, y'all. I like to let my onions really cook good in there and get translucent and stuff. So I kind of turn my fire down and let them just cook along a little way. And just take my time with that. Let your onions cook good. That matters. You don't want your onions to be raw tasting in there, right? So just let your onions cook in there. You got your meat all seasoned and everything's done, you know. But you want your onions to cook in there. That makes them, brings that sugar out in them, right? So the other thing that I'm going to be cooking over here to go on the side with these, because see, we'll take this pork and bean hash and you will ladle it over toast. You make you some toast and put it on there and you just ladle this pork and bean hash over there. Well, on the side, we're going to have, I have in this skillet some cut up potatoes. See, thin sliced potatoes. I'm going to cook us a little old skillet of fried onions and potatoes on the side to go with that. So you'll have your pork and bean hash. This is how you make that poor man food work, right? You'll have your pork and bean hash, ladle over some toast. We're going to have these fried onions and potatoes and a skillet onion and potato thingy going on the side, and get us a big old sliced tomato and put it on the side. So we'll have all that on our plate together, which is yummy. I don't care whether you're rich or poor. It's a good meal, y'all. And I've fed it to my family a many times. We still eat it, and we're still going to eat it. It's that kind of good to us. We love it. But anyway, that's what we're going to have on the plate. And then we'll have our little sopapilla cake for dessert. So it's going to be a good eating night, even though it is old hot summertime. We've got to have us some food off in here, right? I cut me up a few little old potatoes to go in this skillet, right? And I'm going to get me some oil. Where's my... that's all I've got in there right now is my potatoes, right? So I'm going to take me some oil and just kind of... there. About yay much, okay? Because what you want to do is get them coated good. That's your purpose of doing that. Now in here, you're going to do the same flavoring that we did in our pork and bean hash. You're going to come over here, get you some salt. And you want to cook these hot, okay? I'll tell you something in a second. Let's do this first. Okay, see, so we're good and salted. There's our salt. We're going to do our pepper. Okay. And some garlic powder. Alright, there's our seasoning for them. We're going to let these potatoes cook a little bit first, because if you put your onions in right now, your onions will burn. So you're going to let your potatoes get almost halfway cooked, y'all. Not quite halfway, but almost halfway cooked, okay? But you're going to get them going in here, and you don't keep stirring them. And what I was going to tell you was this, is that we don't do the smother fried potatoes. These are not the smother fried ones. The smother fried ones are done just like this basically, except you put a lid on it and let them cook with the lid on it. And that makes them get all steamy and mushy in there and cook down like that and everything. In which those are delicious, but that's not what we do with ours. We want ours to have this kind of crunchy edge, but yet a soft middle in there on them. But we still want that crunchy piece on it. We want our onions and our potatoes to have good bites to them. We don't want no kind of mushy thing in there. So you just have your fire on a high, not blasting high, but medium to high, right? And just leave them alone. Don't touch them. Let them brown on the bottom part of it, and then you'll walk over here in a minute and you'll flip them around. Leave them alone again, right? So we're going to let them cook. So while that's happening, we have got, our onions are done, y'all. They're done in there now. They have cooked through, they're clear. All the sugar's come out in them. Everything's done like that. And what I have, y'all, is 1 can of pork and beans. This happens to be my favorite brand. And you know that, y'all know that I'm not a stickler for brand names and stuff, but only on certain things. But because we have grown up eating pork and beans, and I love pork and beans so much, Van Camps are my favorite. Mama bought the Showboat ones. Y'all remember that brand? I don't even know if they still make it anymore. It was called Showboat pork and beans. But Van Camps is my favorite. You get whatever brands you want, but you need a full can of pork and beans with 1 pound of hamburger meat. Otherwise, double it if you're cooking for your family, okay? You just take that, and I shook my can good before I opened it so all the juices and stuff and everything would be mixed together in there well. Dump it in there. Where's that piece of, oh, I seen that piece of paper come off. I don't want that in there. Now, oh, there's another piece. Come off when I open it with that can opener. Alright. Now, you're just going to take it and just stir it around in here, y'all. And all that juice from the pork and beans will soak up into the meat. And sometimes, I'm going to say this, sometimes you'll get a can that doesn't have a lot of juice in it. If that's the case, then just get you a little bit of water, a little splash of water in your can, and dump it in there. But we're just going to let this sit here and heat up good through and through. It don't have to cook, y'all. It's done. But I like to let it sit there and kind of get to a somewhat of a bubbling stage. I'm going to add me just a little splash of water here. Just because I want just a little bit more liquid than that. See that? That's all I put in there. Okay. I don't want it to be so dry. because you want it good and moist. So make sure it's got a moist texture to it. Not wet with gravy type in there, but not crumbly like dried taco meat or something. You want it kind of medium in between there. Now looky over here, while that's doing that, I'm fixing to check these potatoes. See, they've been sitting there, and I'm just going to take them and flip them around in there a little bit. We love these, y'all, with anything. These are great with any side dish. Fried onions and potatoes in a skillet. Okay? I'm going to leave them alone there. They're almost ready for me to go ahead and get me an onion and peel it. Matter of fact, I'll go ahead and do that. See, this is bubbling now. That's bubbling good. I'm going to just take it and put me a lid on it and turn it off, because that's done. And that'll keep the moisture in there good, and that's ready, y'all. We've got that ready. So now the potatoes and onions, I'm going to turn it off a second and flip my burners where I can get the potatoes closer. Okay, now I'm fixing to show you. I've left them alone. They've been sitting there. Y'all, that's the hardest thing to make yourself do, is to leave them alone. Don't stand there and keep stirring them. If you do, it'll make them get mushy. You have to leave them alone and let them sit there and brown on the bottom of that skillet for a minute. Now see, these are just starting to get lightly browned, right? So now's the time for me to go ahead. I got me a medium onion. I got him peeled. And I'm just going to take it, y'all. It ain't got to be all pretty and stuff and all that. I just take it, cut it in half, and I'm just going to cut me some slices in here, just like this. Thin slices. Okay. Cut this onion up in there. Just like that, okay? Now, let me get him stirred around in there with them. And once again, we're going to leave it alone. We are not going to touch it. Once we get our onions kind of stirred around in there good, get them spread out in it a little bit. Because we want them to do the same thing. They'll start getting some brown on them. That's what makes them good. Getting that little bit of brown cooked on them, on the edges and stuff. But there we are. Now it's all distributed through there kind of evenly. And we're just going to sit there and walk away from it. Go over here and work on some dishes or something a minute while that's cooking. And see, I'm going to give them, I hadn't touched them in a few minutes. They've been sitting there, right? So I'm going to take them and do the flipping thing like I was showing y'all. You know, the ones from the bottom. See, look at that beautiful brown, golden brown there where they are. Let me turn that off. Okay, I'm going to flip them. Give them a little bit of a stir there. Now I've got some of the golden ones here and there and the other ones, so we're going to let them sit here just one or two more times. That I'm going to let them sit here and cook and flip them and stir them. And, you know, I'll do that one or two more times, and I'll show you the end result when that happens. Okay, y'all, they're ready. See? Look at that. Can you see? That you can look at them and see that they're moist, but they got crispy edges on them, too. But they still got a moist, you want to make sure they're done. That's kind of the tricky part of this. See, my fire's still on a good medium high there. But you have to be patient with them and let them cook and not stir them. You just have to, don't stir them very often. That's the main thing. And then just let them cook kind of medium hot. But that's the way you do these skillet potatoes. Onions and potatoes in here, y'all. They're going to be good on the side with that pork and bean hash. I'm going to build a plate and I'll show you how it comes all together. Okay, y'all, I'm going to show you how this comes together, okay? All right, I've got a couple of pieces of toast here. 2 pieces of toast. You just take them and cut them and layer them, kind of like this, right? Layer them out here now. I'm going to come over here with this pork and bean hash. I got it all stirred up here good. You just take it and you're going to just ladle it right on top of this toast, just like that. Okay? Now, get you a pile of these here potatoes and onions. Put them over here to the side. If I can quit making a mess there. Get you a pile of onions and taters on there. Get that. And then you're going to put you some of these sliced tomatoes right there with it, y'all. And that is going to be your plate with your pork and bean hash on toast with potatoes and onions and some sliced tomatoes. Would you feed that to your family? I would, I have, and I will. It's a good meal, y'all. It really is good. It's easy. This did not cost anything, y'all. This just didn't hardly cost nothing. And I'm telling you, it will fill you up and satisfy your taste buds as well. When we get through with that, let me see if I can even touch it. Woo, I don't know if I can. Let me do this. We're going to have a slice of our sopapilla cake. That's going to top it off good, y'all. Hey, listen. Y'all have a great evening. Hope everybody's doing good. And everything's good for us. So, you know, we're happy, blessed. Count your blessings. Always count your blessings. When you do it, just overrides anything that's wrong when you start counting them blessings, right? I know we do. Anyway, here you go, y'all. Pork and bean hash. A poor man's plate. Don't look very poor to me. I tell you what, if you poor, you eating good when you eat that. Y'all have a good one. I love you guys. Thanks for all the support. It's really coming along. It's coming along good. I'm getting excited. I'll see you guys next time in the kitchen with Tally Faye.